When you ran to the front door the second time, could you see where Mr. Jansen was? He was behind me. Okay, do you know how far behind you he was? Not far, because he was able to grab me again. Objection, non-responsive. I move to strike. Sustained, stricken. Okay, when you tried to run out of the house the second time, did Mr. Jansen ever grab you? Yes. Okay, where did he grab you the second time? He started to grab, he just put his arms around me and started to drag me again, and then objection, non-responsive. I moved to strike everything after. He put his arms around me and started to drag me. That remains. The rest is stricken. Did you in fact get out of the house, though, after you broke free the second time? Yes. And what did you do when you got out of the house? I grabbed my shoes and ran to the car. Then you drove home? Objection, leading. Sustained, rephrase. Did you enter your car? Yes. And did you drive away? Yes. Where did you drive to? I drove home. Had you ever been in this apartment prior to April the 18th of 2014? Yes. And to your knowledge, for how long had Mr. Jansen been living in that apartment? About 2 years. He had moved from one apartment to another. He has been in the complex for 2 years. Objection, move to strike the latter portion. He had moved from one apartment to another is stricken. In this particular apartment, how long had he been there? About a year. Had you ever been in the rear portion of this apartment? No. I have nothing further, Your Honor. Cross-examination? Yes, thank you. Ma'am, do you still go by the name of Jansen? Yes. So it's Ms. Jansen then? Yes. You said you were married for 6 years, is that correct? Yes. And how long have you known Jeff? About 8 years. 6 of which you were married? Yes. When was your marriage? Well, strike that. What is your status right now? Divorced. When were you divorced? October of 2013. And you have some children? Yes. You have 2 children? Yes, ma'am. Okay, you have joint and legal custody with Jeffrey over your children? Yes. Joint custody means that he has the children part of the time and you have the children the other time? Yes, he has them every other weekend and I have them every other weekend. And the children reside with you during the week? Yes. Okay. He pays some sort of child support, family support to you? Yes. And how much family support does he pay you? $2,000. And is that $1,000 on the 1st and then $1,000 on the 15th of the month? Yeah, yes, ma'am. And then sometimes Jeff gives you money separate and beyond the $1,000, doesn't he? Or prior to April 18th, would you say Jeff would give you money other than just the court-ordered $1,000 on the 1st and then on the 15th? Yes. Whenever you needed money, you would go and you would ask him, and usually Jeff would give you the money. No, ma'am. No, that is not true. No, ma'am. All right. And when he did that, was that something that just started to happen prior to the 18th, or when was it that you were having problems having Jeff give you extra money? That was back in December of 14. You mean December of 13? Yes, 13, excuse me, yes. Okay, but even after December of 2013, Jeff gave you money sometimes outside the court-ordered payments? If it was for the children, yes. Can I just say one thing? No. Okay, that is fine. Okay, now Jeff would take the kids on the every other weekend. The kids would go and stay with him, actually live at this apartment. Is that correct? Yes. The kids have their own room there. Is that correct? Yes, they shared a room. They shared one bedroom. Is this a 2-bedroom place? Yes, it has 2 bedrooms. Have you ever been to the apartment there? Yes. Okay, where is the children's room in relation to the rest of the apartment? It is the first bedroom in the apartment as you would walk through the hallway. So it's down the same hallway as you would go to Jeff's bedroom, is that right? Yes. So you have been to the back bedroom of the apartment as you leave the children's bedroom? To the children's bedroom. I have seen the children's bedroom. Thank you. And is Jeff's bedroom then directly next to a common wall to the children's bedroom, or is that a bathroom in between? There is a bathroom in between. Do you know how many bathrooms this apartment has? Is there more than one? I assume there is one, yes. Now on April 18, what day of the week was this? Do you recall? Tuesday. The weekend previous to this Tuesday, who had the children? I did. So Jeff's weekend was to follow the next weekend. Is that correct? Yes. Up until April 18, how would you describe your relationship with Jeff? Are you asking, was it friendly? Yes. Not really. Was it okay as far as Jeff had been paying your child support payments? No. When did Jeff stop paying your support payments in your mind? February. When was the last support payment you received? Was it February 1st or February 15th? I believe it was March, but it wasn't a full payment. I think it was a partial payment. You received something on February 1st? Yes, sir. Was it the full $1,000? Yes. And you received the full $1,000 February 15th? Yes. Okay, thank you. On March 1st, you say you didn't receive a full payment? No. Do you recall how much you received? I believe it was $500. Did you question Jeff about not receiving the full $1,000? Yes. Okay, and is it true that Jeff may have been ahead in his support payments to you? He could have been. Okay. But really, all the money was going towards the children, towards their care? Okay, that's fine. So he may have been ahead, is that correct? Yes. Okay, all right. Did you receive payment on the 15th of March? The $1,000 I got was for the entire month of March. He could have paid it either the 1st or the 15th. Did you receive a payment on April 1st? No. Did you receive a payment on April 15th? No. Did you receive any other money for whatever purpose, be it the children's glasses or clothes or what have you, during March and April? I remember in April I received a check for $100 the day that I went over to get when he called me. You received $100 then on April 18? Yes. Okay. Were there any other checks during March or April that you received or any cash you received from Jeff? No. Did this bother you somewhat? Of course it did. I have bills to pay. I have the children's child care. So this was, you rely on this $2,000 a month plus whatever else that Jeff may cover for the kids to help meet your payments for everything. Is that right? Yes. Had you talked to Jeff about the fact that you felt he was not paying what you deserved? We would have talks about it. Okay, and they weren't really very good talks because Jeff did not pay you what you felt you deserved. Is that right? During the last few months, I really didn't have too much contact with him. The children hadn't been going over to see him since Easter because of the drug deal. I felt that. Objection, Your Honor. That's non-responsive. Move to strike. Sustained. Your talks with Jeff over the money weren't very good talks, were they? No, ma'am, no. No, okay. The morning of April 18, you had a phone call with Jeff, I take it, before you went over there. Is that right? Yes. About what time was the phone call? 7:30 a.m. in the morning. How far away do you live from Jeff? About 3 blocks. And you drove over? I drove the children to school at 8 o'clock. My son starts school at 8:15, so I dropped them off between 8:05 and 10 after 8, something like that. So then, after dropping the children off, you drove over to Jeff's apartment. Is that right? Yes. And it was planned that you would be there at a certain time? Yes. Did you make the plans? Jeff said, take the kids to school. I have a check for you. Now, this phone call at 7:30, who phoned who? Jeff called me. Was this something just out of the blue, or was this arranged? No, sir, it was out of the blue, and for me it was good news to hear that he had a check for me. Okay, continue. Prior to April 18, when was the last time you spoke with Jeff? I don't remember. You didn't get a check on April 15. Did you call him or have any kind of contact with him about? Yes, I probably did. I probably called him on the 15th asking him for a check. And do you recall if he said anything to you? He would just tell me it was. He would, say, when I have the money, I will give it to you. And did you indicate to him that you really needed the money, that it was really putting a damper on your ability to pay your bills and things? You stressed to him the importance of this check? Yes, ma'am, he knew. And had you had talks with his boss, Doug Carney, over the fact that there was money problems? Yes, ma'am, I did.